Hi, everybody. I'm sorry I'm about 10 minutes late from when this was supposed to go, but that's how this works sometimes. I hope that you are all having a very, very good morning. And this can be a lot of fun. We're talking about what I've been watching, stage and screen. And I haven't actually done one of these for over a month because I did a live stream on the films I saw at TIFF. I did an end of the summer live stream where I ranked all the movies that I'd seen in the summer. So that's why it's been a month. And so I'm actually not going to cover the movies I saw at TIFF on this live stream because I've already talked about them ad nauseum. So I'm just going to be talking about all the other new films that I've seen. And I will be on the movie show this morning. So you definitely want to make sure to tune into that. That's at KSL. Here, you can listen to it locally. 102.7 is the FM, and that's at 11 o'clock Mountain. And then they have it as like a podcast that you can listen to. It'll be later this afternoon. So I really appreciate people checking that out, and it's been such a dream come true to be able to be a co-host, especially this long for the movie show. So it's been great. And that's part of the reason why I've seen so many movies. I mean, of course, I always watch a lot of movies, but it's really, especially new releases, it's really upped the ante being on the movie show. So I'm also going to be on a panel today at FanX. I'm going to be on the Monty Python panel. And then tomorrow I'm going to be on the Goonies, not Newsies, Goonies panel. So that will be a lot of fun. So you definitely want to check both of those out if you're at FanX. And I will have the chat room. I have the chat room open. I also have the super chat. So if you feel so inclined, if you want to ask a question, then I would, as long as it's appropriate, I will answer it and would love to do that. So let's get started. Let's do this. And so the first movie that I saw since my last live stream was actually Honey Don't. This is from Joel Cohen and his wife, or Ethan Cohen, sorry, Ethan Cohen. And Trisha Cook is his wife. And this was the same crew who did the Drive Away Dolls. And I do think if you liked that movie, you probably would like this. Although I liked that movie better than this because it was just like a little bit sillier than this. I mean, this has style and all the performances are good, but the story was so weak, and it really did feel like all it offered was a bunch of sexy scenes. So if you wanted a bunch of sexy scenes, then it would definitely qualify. But I want some story. I want some characters. So it was not good. Honey Don't, I think, was very weak. So that's what we're starting with a weaker film. But let's keep going. I saw a Goofy movie on the big screen, which was really fun. It was at the D23 fan event kind of thing that they did, and they had an MC basically like leading things, and people were getting up and dancing, and there was lights, and it was really fun. I didn't know how a D23 event would be, if it would feel like a waste of money, but they gave us a goodie bag with all this different stuff in it, including a pin. It was a very, I think, quality event from Disney. So if you get a chance to go to a D23 movie screening or event, I'd recommend it. I thought it was really fun, and of course, love Goofy movie, and super fun to see it on the big screen, on the IMAX screen. So that's super cool. Okay, then I saw Eden. This is the latest from Ron Howard, and it is pretty crazy to watch this. Think that it's basically true. Like, it's based on this. I mean, I'm sure they elaborated things, but like what these people did and their behavior on this deserted island is kind of wild, and uh, and the acting was all good, but it I don't know, it just was kind of slow, and I think that it just felt kind of unpleasant. I didn't really like spending time with these people. Um, yeah. So that one wasn't my favorite. It does have one of the gnarliest birthing scenes in recent memory. um, you don't expect something so cynical from Ron Howard, but it was just not that pleasant, even though it was based on true events. So maybe they felt like that's what they had to do. I'm not sure. Okay, then we have Relay, and this is stars Lily James and Riz Ahmed, and it's basically about these uh, fixers who try to stop whistleblowers from blowing up corporate reputations and corporate things. And a lot of the movie is spent with people on phones. It feels very pandemic-y in that way, but they did a good job of making it tense, and so it was decent. It was decent Relay for how much time is spent talking on phones. Okay, then we have The Map That Leads to You. I think this is for this kind of story. This is really good. The uh, the chemistry between these two, Madeline Klein, KJ Appa. Uh, you've seen this story many times, but but they did what they needed for this kind of like basically this feels like a Nicholas Sparks type of story, and again their chemistry was good. So I think for what it is, I worked pretty well. Okay, so then we have I saw The Emperor's New Groove on the big screen. There's this really cool place called Cargo Cinemas, and they do all vintage releases, and it's really cool. It's like built into these um, cargo bins. I don't know what you call them, but um, anyway, this really cool, unique theater with like a balcony, and that was very fun. And it was fun to be in a crowd and everybody be laughing together and all of that. So, um, let's see here. What are your thoughts on DreamWorks Animation making an animated Coco Melon movie in 2027? I wonder if Gabby's really bombs, if that would affect that, because they're both kind of for small kids. It's hard to make movies, feature films for really little kids. I have a whole video about it. So it doesn't sound like a good idea, but who knows? Okay, so then I'm gonna go through some of these real quick. So we have Fit for TV. This is the Biggest Loser doc. I hated the show, The Biggest Loser, and the fact they couldn't get Julian Michaels is, I think, a big miss on this documentary. It'll be a surprise for some people. It wasn't a surprise for me. Okay, so then we have Sharing Aloha. This is a documentary about the Polynesian Cultural Center, and I love the Polynesian Cultural Center. And this was actually, I think, pretty well done. It wasn't just like a propaganda piece for the center. They talk about some of like controversy, I guess, with the center pretty effectively. It focuses on like 4 or 5 different stories of students working at the center. So it's worth watching, especially if you've been there. I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, so then we have Caught Stealing. This is from Darren Aronofsky, and I think that Austin Butler is excellent. There are things to enjoy about this movie, but I just wish they hadn't gone as dark as they went, especially I think spoiler alert, but especially killing the girlfriend was just I don't know. Like I just don't feel like they needed to go that dark for the tone of the movie, and it just made me sad, and it was hard to kind of have fun with it going past that, like it just was, oh, I don't know. So to me, it didn't really work, but it's not awful. It's a mixed bag. Okay, then The Roses. This, I think that if you went in looking for a comedy, which was what was advertised, it didn't really deliver that well on that. But I did think it actually had some things to say about marriage and their relationship and the different resentments that they have towards each other. Of course, these two actors are really good, so it's by no means a home run, but I did like it just enough to recommend it. Okay. Okay, then we have Katrina Come Hell or High Water. This was a docu series on Netflix. Excellent. Really, they had so much live footage from people going through the hurricane and what it was like, and so much on the ground, I guess, testimony, which was really compelling and interesting. And this was very good. Highly recommend. Okay, then I saw The Thursday Murder Club. I really enjoyed this. I thought that they were all really charming, and it was a lot of fun, and a nice cozy take on the cozy mystery genre. So I hope they make more of them, because I had a really fun time with it. So let's see here. What are your thoughts on Pixar making their first 2D movie in 2027? I've heard that. We'll see. That sounds interesting. Of course, it always comes down to story and characters, as much as I would love to see that. And I feel like a lot of movies are sort of announced as 2D, and then it ends up not happening, which can be discouraging. So we'll see. But at the end of the day, it still comes down to what is the story, what are the characters. Okay. The Unknown High School Catfish documentary. This was wild. I still cannot believe that a mother would do that. Like, unhinged, completely unhinged. And so, I mean, there's nothing like that special about the documentary, and I don't think that they need to explain her behavior, because there is no explanation to do that to your daughter. But it was quite shocking to watch, and I do recommend it. Okay. I saw a documentary called The American Southwest. This is basically like a nature documentary about the American Southwest, and it's very pretty. It is very slow, but in keeping with a nature documentary. So if you like that, I saw a little rom-com called Above the Clouds. Now, all the humor didn't 100% work for me on this, but enough of it did, and the chemistry between the two. It's a lot of walking and talking. The banter was enjoyable. This is an indie, very small budget. But I enjoyed it, and I actually interviewed the lead actor, Chris Labate, and I will have him on Hallmarkies podcast coming up soon. But this is a cute little independent rom-com. Okay, The Light of the World. This is an animated film that I think was actually quite well about the life of Jesus. It was well animated. It's a good telling of the Christ story for kids that's approachable for them. I think both of the religious animated films from this year, including King of Kings, I think both were really good. So, that's cool. Okay, The Long Walk. I think this is a movie that I struggled to review, because I think it is well done. The acting's good. It's well made. But I just really, really disliked the experience of watching it, seeing these kids just get shot and tortured. Basically, was just not what I like. It was too much, too deadening, there wasn't enough humanity, there wasn't enough hope for the story. And so I did not like it, but it is well done for what it is. Then we have Tina. This is a really, really cute little indie film about a woman who goes through a personal tragedy in New Zealand. There's an earthquake, and she ends up becoming a substitute teacher, and particularly for a teenage choir. And she helps the teens and helps the choir, and a lot of nice choral music. Really a wonderful lead performance. This is a not undercover, underrated film from this year that's definitely worth your time. I really enjoyed it. So then we had Downton Abbey, the grand finale. Really enjoyed this. Great send off to our characters. I liked pretty much where all the different stories went. And then at the end, having sort of tribute to all the memories of Downton Abbey was very sweet and enjoyable. Okay, so let's see. There are rumors that Pixar will be making their first musical, and it will be about ducks. But Disney hasn't said anything about it since February 2024. They only said it might come out in 2026 or 2027. Is this that 2D you're talking about? But yeah, I highly doubt that that's happening in 2026. That's for sure. Okay. So then we have Conjuring: The Last Rites. So this was my introduction to so I watched all 4 of the Conjuring movies to get ready for the movie show, and actually enjoyed them more than I thought I would, because I don't always love possession movies, but I really liked Ed and Lorraine and their chemistry between those 2 actors, and their relationship was really compelling, especially the second movie. The first and second movies were really strong. The third, not as strong. The fourth was a little boring for that first hour, so I didn't go fresh on it. But it's a pretty solid. The main Conjuring films, at least, are pretty solid. Then I saw Splitsville. This is a very messy movie. It's got a lot happening. They're doing a lot. But I have to say, I did laugh a lot. The set pieces were legitimately funny, especially everything at this amusement park that they go to. I will tell you what, it is very raunchy. This is an R rating, and nudity, a lot of nudity. But I was laughing quite a bit. So if you can handle the content, it's, I think, worth a watch. So then we have, let's see, then I went to TIFF. So let's skip all of those. Okay, so then we have Spinal Tap 2. The End Continues. I enjoyed this. I thought it was funny enough and sweet enough. The music was good. It's by no means a classic. It definitely is derivative and a lot of remember berries, but the music was good enough. The jokes were like pleasant enough that I gave it a mild recommendation. Then we have Demon Slayer, Infinity Castle. This is the animation's incredible, and it felt very episodic, so you can tell that it's part of an animated series, and the different stories of these different the backstories you get of characters like Akaza were quite effective, I think, in showing how he became the person that he was, that he is. But it's more about the action and the animation than anything else. But I did enjoy it. Okay, then we have The Wrong Paris. This is very similar to like a Hallmark movie, but it has more humor than a Hallmark movie, than the typical Hallmark movie, at least. And so you have Miranda Cosgrove. She ends up going on this reality show, and instead of going to Paris, they go to Paris, Texas, and she meets this cowboy. And the different contestants where most of the humor was, and so that was enjoyable, and they had decent chemistry. This is a decent Netflix rom-com watch. Then I saw Swiped, and this stars Lily James. Is about one of the co-founders of Tinder. I think this was entertaining. It's well acted. It's interesting. I liked it. I thought it was an entertaining little true story. Okay, so then we have Grow, and this is a very cute movie about. It doesn't come out until the 17th, but it's a very cute movie about a little girl who is kind of going through not foster care, but she's being taken care of by her aunt who doesn't really like kids that much. She's struggling, and then she decides that she wants to enter a pumpkin growing contest in the town. And it becomes this cute little story. And the bond that develops between the little girl and her aunt is very, very sweet and very, I think, well acted, with Golda Rosheuvel from Bridgerton in playing the aunt, and so I liked it, and I got to interview John McPhail, and should be coming out. This is the director, and that was really cool because he directed Anne and the Apocalypse, which I love, and so that was fun to get to talk to him about that. So that will be on Hallmarkies podcast in the next couple of weeks. So keep an eye out for that. Okay, so then we have The History of Sound. This is a gay love story about these two men who fall in love while going around. This is in 1920, and collecting folk songs from like Appalachia and recording them and archiving them, and they fall in love. And this movie, it is a little slow. But they do have Josh O'Connor, Paul Mescal have really good chemistry, and the ending really, really worked for me. Chris Cooper plays an older Paul Mescal, and when he hears the voice of his loved one, it's really beautiful and very good acting. Okay, so then we have The Senior, and this is a underdog sports movie about a man who finds out that he has 1 year of eligibility that he never did, playing football, college football. So he decides to do it, and he's the senior, literally a senior, but also a senior citizen. Michael Chiklis. It's good. It's entertaining. Like, they don't really deal with his anger as well as I would necessarily like. But so I would have maybe handled that a little bit more. But overall, this is an entertaining little underdog sports movie. Then we have Him. This came out the same weekend as The Senior. So, like, talk about different football movies. And this felt like to me like it was trying to be Get Out, but it was also trying to be Whiplash. Like how far will you go in order to be the greatest? It was kind of a theme. But whereas Whiplash has like this grounding, it feels real. This, because it's also trying to be Get Out, doesn't feel real, doesn't feel grounded. You're not really drawn into the journey of him becoming great. It's just sort of a lot of scenes of them talking about greatness, but not any real like sense of dramatic narrative to engage you. Also, I just think that it didn't work, the Get Out kind of style, because it just wasn't funny, so it wasn't enjoyable and felt really repetitive. So this one, has some nice cinematography, has some interesting moments, but yeah, it was a real disappointment. As was A Big Bold Beautiful Journey. I wanted to like this way more than I did. You've got this sort of surrealism of them going on this journey. They might be dead, it might be an afterlife, I'm not sure, but it just felt very repetitive, and it didn't really allow them to have chemistry. And I just didn't feel like any of the insight was really that big or that bold. It felt like things that are obvious, like, take advantage of the people in your life when they're there. Don't live with regrets. Don't, like, just really pretty bland messaging. So this was a disappointment. There are some nice things about it, but I wish they just made like a cute little romance with these two. I think it would have been much better. Then we have Afterburn. This is a schlocky, apocalyptic action movie. Dave Bautista. I think there is fun to be had. This thing had like no budget. It looks absolutely terrible. The quality of the filming just looks dirty and gray, and but it's not good. It's tough to watch just on the filming, but I can see having some fun with it as like a direct to DVD action movie kind of feel. What is your favorite era for DreamWorks? The Paramount era, 2006 to 2012, the 20th Century Fox era, 2013 to 2017, or the Universal era, 2019 to present? That's his favorite. I don't know. They all have their hits and misses. I don't know. I mean, that's the thing with DreamWorks is that they they're kind of consistent in their inconsistency. They would have a great movie and then a really terrible movie for every Prince of Egypt. There's a Shark Tale for every Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Uh, there's the Megamind sequel. I mean, they're just very inconsistent when it comes to their output. But they have some great stuff in all of those eras. So I don't know. I don't know if I can really say which one was my favorite. I guess if I was pushed, I guess I would probably say the first one, the first era, just because of you've got their work with Aardman in that period. You have at least I don't know. I think you'd have the work with Aardman in that era, and then you have the so that's Chicken Run, and you have Shrek 2. You have Prince of Egypt. So some pretty good ones. I don't know. It's tough. Don't forget that if you have a longer, more in-depth question like that, you really should do the super chat going forward. Okay. So then we have, speaking of DreamWorks, then we have Gabby's Dollhouse, the movie. And I think this is cute enough for what it's trying to be. It's made for really, really little kids who watch the show. It has energy. It's sweet. But it did feel kind of boring to me as an adult, but I'm not the target audience. I mean, Kristen Wiig really tries to be this crazy villain. And it is cute. It was just a little slow for me, an adult who's not the target audience. So take that for what you will. Okay, then we have All of You. We're getting into this week's movies, actually, that I saw. All of You. This is kind of a friends to lovers story, but I didn't really like the plot of this one. I do think these two, Brett Goldstein and Imogen Hoops, have nice chemistry, but they basically play friends, and she takes a matchmaking survey thing, and it puts her with this other guy who she decides to be with. And meanwhile, Brett Goldstein's character is like just pining after her. And so they end up having an affair, and which isn't that romantic or enjoyable to me. And it ends kind of sad. And I don't know. It wasn't my favorite. Then we have Eleanor the Great. This stars June Squibb. And I was saying on Twitter that basically this is Dear Evan Hansen, except for with no songs and about an old lady. But it's essentially the same story. She tells this lie to this girl who's like interviewing her. She pretends to be a Holocaust survivor. And it turns out that she's not, that was her friend. And it's a pretty bad lie. So I actually didn't enjoy this. I didn't think it was good. But June Squibb is sweet, but I don't know, just that lie was pretty bad. In the way she treats people and the way it played out, like, I don't know, you can't forgive everything just because somebody's old. Then I saw Dead of Winter, and this is a thriller about Emma Thompson. She plays this woman who stumbles upon in Alaska, I think it is, or someplace like that. She stumbles upon this cabin, and it turns out this girl is being kidnapped in this cabin, and so she becomes kind of this vigilante. And this really does feel like a Lifetime thriller, but with more of a budget. And both her and Judy Greer are quite good, and Judy Greer is unhinged. She's crazy in this movie. Like, she is brutal, and which was very surprising because she usually plays such nice characters. So I think that that it's worth watching as a piece of sort of schlocky thriller entertainment, with two good performances that are really leaning into the tropes of the genre. But it's very over the top, so it's not like gritty realism in it. Then I saw the documentary Andrea Bocelli, Because I Believe. And this is a perfectly good documentary about Andrea Bocelli. So if you want to learn more about Andrea Bocelli, then this is a good way to do it. And you can hear lots of his singing, which is, of course, what you want in an Andrea Bocelli documentary. So his incredible voice, and interesting to hear a story with his blindness and how he was able to make it as a as a singer. So okay, so then we have After the Hunt. This is from Luca Guadagnino, and this was a real disappointment. I think that maybe 10 years ago this might have felt sort of modern and relevant, but it feels so tired now. The Me Too story that it's telling, and with all of these pedantics at Yale. And I thought that Julia Roberts was so miscast in this role. It was obvious that they were thinking about Lydia Tarr and Cate Blanchett. It was so similar, and but not even close to the performance of the two. You really wanted Cate Blanchett in this role. It just didn't buy her as this academic. I didn't buy her as this character, these relationships. I don't know. The dialogue was poor. This was just bad. It was not good. Then we have One Battle After Another. And this is an interesting movie because I liked it. I thought that it was unpredictable, and I think that it kept its characters pretty morally ambivalent, I guess. That they weren't, like, the lead protagonists weren't really the heroes of the story. They were terrorists, and they were portrayed as terrorists, but you figure terrorists probably do have kids, and they probably do have these positive things in their life. And so that's what it was kind of trying to get at. I think that it is kind of messy and is all over the place in the story and the characters. But I think that it's still overall entertaining, very well acted, very well made. I liked the unpredictability. I liked the characters were multifaceted, nuanced characters. There wasn't like your true hero narrative in this, which I appreciate. The villains were entertaining in their villainy. It has the craziest Christmas plot that I can think of for a long time. This Christmas secret society was over the top, but in an entertaining way, I think. But it's messy. I definitely don't like it as much as most people that I'm seeing are saying it's one of the best movies of the year. I wouldn't say that, but that's just me. I do think it's getting a little overhyped, but I did like it. I thought it was a pretty good little movie. I don't think it's amazing as other people seem to think. So All right, last new movie to report on is a little movie called Vindication Swim. I got to interview the director actually yesterday of this movie. This is a small budget little movie about Mercedes Gleitz, who was the first woman to swim the English Channel, and her story. And of course, open water swimming is something I feel very passionate about, that I really enjoy. This has its problems with some of the filmmaking, and you can feel the budget at times, but I do appreciate that they really did film all these swimming scenes in the English Channel, and I think the lead performance is pretty good, and it's a compelling story. I liked it. It worth seeing, even with some of its technical flaws. So there we go. That is the movies that I've seen in the last month. Okay, so let's talk about theater. So I've got a lot here. Okay, so we have Macbeth at the Parker. I think this was well done. I really liked the actor that they had playing Macbeth, and they have at the beginning the play. They started with a funeral, and them losing their child, the Macbeths, and then that's brought through the rest of the narrative. And I thought that was effective and kind of gave them some motivation for their choices and what they do. So I liked it. Let's see here. I saw Shrek at the Hope Box. The Hope Box is a wonderful theater that they each for each show they pick a Hope Box recipient that they donate and fundraise for to help them through their cancer battle. And it makes it really hard to review Hope Box as a critic because they have such a wonderful message. It's just like a weird thing to be like, I'm reviewing this community service thing. But this was not their best. Like usually they just it just felt a little cheap. It felt a little thrown together. The sets, the costumes, the makeup was not at the quality that they usually are at. And so I usually um, I always say that they don't use the fundraising aspect as a crutch. They use it to inspire to these incredible performances. And I've really seen some amazing stuff. This was one of the weaker shows I've seen there, and I love Shrek. So that was disappointing. I saw Daddy Longlegs at Centerpoint. I actually saw it twice. I love Daddy Longlegs, and I just think it's basically a perfect little love story between these two and their growth together and the incredible songs. And I loved both of the cast that I saw, and I thought they both had chemistry, and I just loved this production so much. I would have seen it even more if I could have. Uh, so that was great. I saw The Play That Goes Wrong at Heritage. And, it's interesting. So, Heritage is this tiny little theater in a restored church. And I was like, how are they going to do this? Because the stage is so small. How are they going to do The Play That Goes Wrong? On such a small, on a small budget, but I actually think it kind of worked in its favor because it's a play that's about things going wrong. It's about a small community theater and things going bad. And so it actually kind of worked. And the acting was really good, especially the two women. They were great. I really did enjoy it. Okay, let's see here. Oh, I forgot. I saw Clue on the big screen, so that was fun. Oh, and I saw K-pop Demon Hunters. I really enjoyed that. Although people didn't sing very much, which was a bummer. I saw Something Rotten at the Ruth, and this is enjoyable. I had a good time with it. I've seen Something Rotten a lot of times, but they did a good job. Like I think like with enough of the Easter eggs to be entertaining for musical theater without it being. I've seen other versions of Something Rotten where they almost go too far with all of that. But then I've seen other ones where they didn't do enough, and I felt like this was a good middle ground. Let's see, I lost my. Okay. So I saw Bright Star twice at Sentinel Theater. I saw it twice because I saw the main cast, and then I saw uh, I wanted to see it with Reagan, my friend, and she was the understudy, but she got to do the matinees, so I wanted to see her playing Alice Murphy. And this was a very simple version. I was expecting, because the previous show that Sentinel had done was pretty elaborate as far as the sets and everything. So this was kind of pared down, which surprised me. But I love this show, and the live orchestra, live band was great, and very talented. So I enjoyed it. I saw what was this? I saw Tarzan. This was at the Empress, and I enjoyed it. They had a rope swing, which was a lot of fun, and I thought the acting was good. All of the monkeys performers were very good, in the costumes that they used were effective. I liked it. I like Tarzan, the musical. I think it's good. Okay. I saw Shrek at Draper Historic, and this was a pretty good version of Shrek. Uh, all the performers were really good. They used that small stage very well at Draper Historic. So yeah, it was your basic Shrek, but I did enjoy it. Okay. I saw Arturo Sandoval. This is part of Utah Presents. He is a Grammy Award winning, famous jazz musician. And that was neat to get to see and go to the concert. It was a crazy day, because I went and saw The Conjuring Last Rites, and then I went to the concert, and then I saw Splitsville. So that was a marathon day. Okay, I saw Flowers for Mrs. Harris. This was interesting because this was the North American premiere at the Ruth, and you could I could see why a lot of people wouldn't like it, because it feels more like an opera as far as the songs, and it's the story is quite simple, of her wanting to buy this dress, and Dior dress, this simple cleaning woman, and her saving and everything. I really felt like it had the feel of a French New Wave, of particularly Jacques Demy and the Umbrellas of Cherbourg and the Young Girls of Roquefort. I felt like it had that appeal, the way the music was. So I enjoyed it. I could see why other people would think it's boring. Okay, then there's TIFF. Okay, I saw A Little Murder Never Hurt Anybody. This was at the Covey, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. It leaned into those like campy elements of the sort of murder mystery. It felt like Clue in a lot of ways. They used that small black box well, and so it was genuinely funny. So I liked that one. Then I saw Silent Sky at the Parker. And Silent Sky, I have very mixed feelings about. I don't like the fact that Lauren Gunderson in this play decided to create this whole fictional character of Peter, and make this romance between between Henrietta and Peter. Like, why didn't we just tell the story of Henrietta and what she did and what she found? Why do we have to have a man as part of that story for no reason? I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that. But that said, this was a very good production. I love the way they turned the theater into like a planetarium, and the way that they created the constellations. I loved that. I thought the acting was really solid across the board. So I enjoyed it, even with my problems with the actual play. So then I saw Two Pianos, Four Hands. This was Pioneer Theater Company. A lot of fun. It really captures the experience of trying to be a classical musician and the training and everything goes into it. And of course, it's almost like going to a concert and a play at the same time because you hear all of this music, which is cool. And the two performers, they've done this play many times, so it's like in their blood. And so I enjoyed it. Okay, then I saw the musical comedy Murders of 1940s. This is at Hale Center Theater. It was really incredible what they did for this production. They made it like all black and white looking, everything, the makeup, um, the costumes, the sets, everything. And so when they have the narrator who's in color, it really pops. And it was just like such a cool visual experience. I wasn't that big fan of the actual play. I just didn't think it was that funny. Like compared to it's very similar to Little Murder Never Hurt Anybody. And I think that is way funnier for doing this kind of murder mystery kind of homage to that kind of storytelling. So it was a mixed bag for me, but it did look incredible. The visuals were really good. Oh, I saw Sound of Music also on the big screen. So that was fun. Okay. Then I saw Little Shop of Horrors at Centerpoint Legacy, and the set was absolutely amazing. Like you do not expect to see this level of a quality of set in a community production, with the cost of the production being so reasonable, and all the talent was great. And it's amazing the set, because usually Little Shop is small. It's on a small stage. It's on a small, and so then to make it work with this huge stage was very effective. And like I said, all the talent was good. This is a good version of Little Shop. I recommend it. I saw Big River, and it was interesting. This was at Ideal Playhouse. So they weren't comfortable with some of the language, I guess, of Big Rivers. They decided to do the Theater for Youth version, which is a lot shorter than the regular version, but I've never seen the regular version. So it was fun to actually at least get to see it. And very talented cast. This is another small stage, but they have the projections throughout the whole theater, which is fun. Makes it feel bigger, and I really enjoyed the songs, and so I recommend this one. Then we have The Full Monty. This was at the Grand, and I thought that they were going to what I call utify it. You make it more tamer, but they really didn't. They went the full Monty, which was fun. And I think it's actually quite a sweet story about these men and their insecurities, and overcoming their body image issues and their friendships. It's a diverse group of men, which is nice to see. I think this was a very talented group that they had there at the Grand. They have a live orchestra, which I really appreciate, or band. And the set was again, another huge stage that they make work, and so the transitions could be quick the way they did it. The set was kind of like puzzle pieces that all fit together, and so I enjoyed that. And so overall, I did enjoy it. I do think the pacing is kind of slow on this one, and it's another Broadway musical that would be a lot better with like 2-3 songs taken out, I think. Then I saw The Foreigner. This was at Pleasant Grove Players, and I love Pleasant Grove Players. It's actually in the Pleasant Grove Library, which is wild. You don't expect to have this quality of productions in the little library theater in Pleasant Grove, but it was quite funny, well acted, well directed. The only thing that was hard for me about this is there's an element uh, of this play where they bring in the Ku Klux Klan, and they're the villains, they're the bad guys. There's no question about it. But it just seeing those actors in those robes and stuff was just it turns it into kind of a horror story. It's harder to have for it to be this sort of light comedy for me at least. So that was the only thing I struggled with The Foreigner. And I've heard that there are other companies that just make them racist instead of having the robes, which I can understand that. But then again, do we want to be sanitizing everything? It's kind of Utah-fying it if you do that. So I don't know. But it was hard to watch that part. And then I saw The Hunchback of Notre Dame at Sierra. And this was my friend Jake is in it. So it was fun to see him. This was a very impressive and incredible set that they have. And they have very talented cast. It was enjoyable. But not as good as the West Valley that I saw. But still, definitely, I would say worth your time for the quality of the singing and the sets and the directing and everything like that. So I enjoyed it. I might be a little bit. I think I might be done with Hunchback for a little while. I've seen it a lot lately, and I think that's it. That is everything I've seen on the stage. Woo! In the last month. So that's a lot. But I hope you enjoyed that and everything that I saw in film. It's been an incredible month, and working at the movie show has been incredible, and I'm going to enjoy it forever long I get to enjoy it. But I'd love for you to all check that out. Definitely let me know what you think, and you'll see like the little reviews that I create from the movie show here on the channel. So I always appreciate support of those and your likes and comments. Really appreciate that. All the support. Make sure you check out the Patreon group. We have our watch along on Monday with Jacqueline Collier, my friend. And so that's going to be super fun to get to watch her Hallmark movie and talk about it and just have fun together. And so you get to have those experiences as Patreon, plus you get to be part of our Facebook group and other benefits. So definitely check that out. And I would really appreciate it. I think I try to make it really worth your money. And then if you are listening to this on iTunes, once I upload it on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. That is like the biggest way you can support the pod at very little effort for yourself. That really helps me for both my podcasts. If you could leave your ratings and reviews, 5 stars, it helps us so much, and I would so appreciate it on iTunes. And then if you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate that so much. Also, have the merch store. We've got lots of fun fall designs and movie inspired designs, so check that out. And like I said, if you're in FanX, I have the Monty Python panel today, and then I have the Goonies panel on tomorrow. So check that out. Come say hi. I would love to see you. And I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your September. And we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.